Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Friday, August 23rd, 2019. One of the top news stories today is the death of an Atlanta family. A mother and her two children were found shot to death, and according to the police, the mother shot both of her children and then killed herself, but the details don't add up. From what everyone knows, this was a happy family, a successful family. The mother was voted one of the 100 most successful businesswomen in the United States this year in a ceremony that was held in April. They'd just been on a family vacation. And it seems like anytime I try to use my camera, it freezes almost instantly, and now I can't even get to it. Anyway, for people who are new here, I used to always use the camera in every video. I used to use a different computer, and it never used to freeze, but now the new camera just freezes all the time. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it one more time here. Okay. I used to also not wear these glasses, but I'm getting older, and these are the eye protection, blue light blockers. Anyhow, this murder mystery in Atlanta, and again, according to the police, a mother killed her children and herself for seemingly no reason. Happy family, successful family, and if you want to take the police's word for it, which I don't recommend to anyone, the mom's responsible. So I want to show you what stands out about the story in light of the ages reported, and then we're going to talk about what Freemasonry has to do with any of this. So notice the mother is 58 years old. Aaron Edwards was 20 and Christopher Edwards Jr. was 24. The mother and father have apparently been divorced for some time. The father is a successful surgeon and professor who went to Morehouse. But things stand out about the ages of these individuals. So the police say the bodies were found Wednesday, August 21st, and when they were found, they had been dead for some time. They're not saying an estimate of the time, but they were already dead and had noticeably been dead for a period of time before they were discovered Wednesday, August 21st. And the thing about the discovery of the dead bodies on August 21st is that date's written 21/8, like 218 in the majority of the world, and death in Gematria equals 218. As for the mother being 58, I'm curious how old the father is, but I couldn't find that. As for the mother being 58, that's a signature number of the Masons. Freemasonry's 58, Rosicrucian's 58, Secret Society's 58, and a whole lot more things that are connected to Freemasonry sum to 58. If you've read my book, you know the long list. Freemasonry was born out of the Rosicrucian order. King James was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian. He dropped dead unexpectedly at age 58. And Freemasonry is very much a death cult in many ways. Learn about the 3 rituals you have to go through to earn your first 3 degrees in Masonry. One of them is being blindfolded and put in a coffin. And there's a whole lot more to it. But death, big concept in Masonry. And as for the family surname Edwards, look at the overlap with Edwards and Masonic. It's perfect in all 4 ciphers. The alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Of course, killing in Masonic is the same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. As for the ages of the children, they were said to be 20 and 24. So you add the ages of the children together, you get 44 years, 20 plus 24, 44. And that's a number found around death and killing all the time. Shooting. They were murdered in a shooting. Shooting equals 44. Execution 44. Kill 44. This happened in Georgia. Georgia's one of 2 states that has a gematria of 44. The name of the father is Christopher Edwards, and one can only wonder, is he a Mason? A lot of people in high places are. Christopher Edwards, 96, like Freemason. And if you run his name in reverse, his name sums to 102. Could be coincidental or not. The age of his family that was all murdered except for him. 58 plus 20 plus 24 is 102. And there's an uglier side to that number in light of it being a black family. The word slavery is 102. The N-word's 102. It makes one wonder. If you read all the articles about this family, I was just trying to read and just look for something, some sort of motive, some sort of reasoning. None of the stories really focus much on the father other than saying he's this successful, professor, medical professional. This is him right here. He's been a doctor since 1988. But again, as I look at this story, and as I look at these stories day after day, it's the same numbers, it's the same patterns, and it's always pointing in one direction, Freemasonry. And because I have an open number for people to call, I get calls pretty often from Masons who say they like my work, but they say I'm wrong to blame it on Masons. They say this is just the way the universe operates. It's not Freemasonry, it's just the way the universe operates. And I do understand that there's an organic side to this code, but I also, realize that there's some suspicious things in the world that all people should consider. First of all, it's easy to see that it is Masonry who encoded the language. Again, let's just go through this logically. And let's just start with the most simple cipher, the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26, and just think about it. English is 74. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, is 74. It comes from Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah. English, Gematria, Jewish, they're all 74. Okay? And if you think every word sums to 74, again, I'll remind you, if you write out the 50 states, the 50 U.S. states, only one sums to 74, which means 1 out of 50 of the words sum to 74, which means 2%. So, and again, that's a good example to see that not every word sums to 74. But anyway, let's continue with our list. Masonry is based in Jewish mysticism, which is Kabbalah. Masonic 74. Masonry is based in occult teachings. Occult means hidden, things that most people don't know about, such as Gematria. Occult 74. You have a band that is a group of Freemasons known as Slipknot. They have a song called Gematria, the Killing Name. One of those band members just died by the code. One of those band members did die by the code not too long ago. And another one, just this past summer, lost his daughter at a young age, and he asked that all the flowers and cards be sent to the local Masonic temple for her death. And as we talked about, 74 was coded all over that ritual. Just go to my videos and search Slipknot. You'll find the videos I'm talking about. So, just look at that list right there. What are the odds? And, Masonry, based in all these occult teachings, including Kabbalah, taking on mottos such as the body is the temple. What are the odds of this? When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, by the way, killing, Masonic, English, they're the same forwards and backwards. But when you write out Masonic temple, it equals 206. That's how many bones are in the adult human body. 206. The body is the temple. The body is the temple. And when you study the 4 ciphers, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, you start to see how cleverly everything is coded out. Notice Masonic temple's 206, like the number of bones in the body. Notice also the 71. That's Masonic temple. If you just write out the word temple with the alphabetic order, it's 71. Notice also the 55, 206 bones in the body, right? Look at the word bones with the alphabetic order, 55. Masonic temple is also 55. Notice bones is 26 as well. Notice temple is 26. See? Notice the word skeleton is 101, which is the 26th prime number. You see? The language is really cleverly thought out. There's so many intricacies in the language when you study this code, and you realize it's not an accident. It was built this way. It was thought out. You have to remember, English didn't start as 26 letters, and the spellings that we use now for words weren't agreed to at the beginning. They were all eventually arrived at. Eventually the world agreed to the 26-letter alphabet that's used commonly. So who would have the ability and influence to do this? Freemasonry is a network based on secret societies that go back centuries, go back thousands of years. Networks that are established worldwide. So again, you have to think about it. The language was crafted clearly by these people, encoded by these people. This network, and realize I'm not talking about all Freemasons, but I'm talking about certain Freemasons, select Freemasons at higher tiers. They operate by this code. So often in these suspicious stories, it's coming from the police, the narrative. And again, who's the group that has the song Murder by Numbers? It's the band, The Police. And if you've never heard the song Murder by Numbers by The Police, again, you got to look it up. Police, Murder by Numbers lyrics. By the way, this song came out in 1983. Song came out in 1983. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Murder's 83. The movie poster for Murder by Numbers changes the E to a 3 and the B to an 8. No other letters are tampered with. 3 and 8, 8 and 3, Murder 83 and 38. At the top of that movie poster is the name Sandra Bullock, the star of the movie, Sandra Bullock 83. Notice her name's also 218, like death. Like how, here we are talking about a story about a family, found dead on 218, August 21st. The last death threat I ever received in the mail at my old house threatened my life for February 18th. See why they did that? Another 218 date, right? 218. But Murder by Numbers, the song. I'll just read the lyrics. I can't sing. Once that you've decided on a killing, first you make a stone of your heart. And this is by the band The Police. Again, remember that, because it's always the police and the media giving out the details of these stories that don't make any sense. And if you find that your hands are still willing, then you can turn a murder into art. There really isn't any need for bloodshed. You just do it with a little more finesse. If you can slip a tablet into someone's coffee, then it avoids an awful lot of mess. It's Murder by Numbers 1, 2, 3. It's as easy to learn as your ABC. Let's just pause there before we finish the lyrics. Again, my blog, you can use it for a lot of things. If you come here and search Agatha Christie ABC, she has a novel, The ABC Murders. Well, I thought it would go directly to the article. Here it is. Again, she has a novel that's been turned into a TV show on Amazon. And the ABC Murders, the ABC Murders equals 79, like murder equals 79. Again, like how the story starts in Andover. And look at the overlap with murder in Andover. That's where the story begins. In a town that has overlap in 3 of the 4 ciphers. And again, the Murder by Numbers movie poster. Sandra Bullock at the top, E3, B8. See, Murder by Numbers song in 83. Anyway, you just think about this. Somebody's obviously doing this. So yeah, there is an organic side to the code, but are you telling me that the organic side of the code told the person to release the song Murder by Numbers in 83? Told the person making the movie poster to change the E to the 3, the B to an 8, star Sandra Bullock? I have a hard time believing that. Now, for a little bit more about these lyrics, Murder by Numbers, ABC 1, 2, 3. Now, if you have a taste for this experience and you're flushed with your very first success, your very first murder, then you must try a twosome or a threesome, and you'll find your conscience bothers you much less. Because murder is like anything you take to. It's a habit-forming need for more and more. You can bump off every member of your family and anybody else you find a bore. Now you can join the ranks of the illustrious in history's great dark hall of fame. All our greatest killers were industrious, at least the ones that we all know by name. But you can reach the top of your profession if you become the leader of the land, for murder is the sport of the elected, and you don't need to lift a finger of your hand. And then you get more of that chorus. Murder by numbers, it's as easy to learn as your A, B, C, D, E. So, you know, for all the Masons who reach out and say it's not Freemasonry, again, just like I always say when they call me, how come it's always the same numbers then that point in one direction, and it's very clear that Masonry is who's responsible for encoding the language as it is? You know? Who else could it possibly be? And guess we'll just have to see where Christopher Edwards goes in this world from here. So if you don't follow my blog, you should. I always link a lot of information here. You can come read this article. Who was Marcia Edwards? This is the mother that was supposedly murdered her children and herself. You know, it just doesn't make sense. You got a beautiful family. You're successful. You just got back from vacation. They said that's another thing I read. They'd just gotten back from a nice vacation. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So anyhow, we'll leave it there. Got some good news. I'm about to do another meeting with the web development team. The website is getting built. Before long, we'll have the Truth Seeker Network page where people can help organize and find other truth seekers in their community. And I'll keep you posted on the status of that. So meeting time here in just a few minutes. And I'm sure I'll be back before long with the next story. So all right, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.